All right, let's go back to the bombing investigation for now that is going on in Boston, because we have some brand new details on this. Authorities now say that they believe that the Tsarnaev brothers assembled at least 4 types of devices in the home of Tamerlan Tsarnaev that he shared with his wife. And a national security source tells Fox News that the Boston Marathon was chosen as a, quote, target of opportunity after Dzhokhar told investigators that the bombs came together a little bit more quickly than they had expected. Joined now by Bill Gavin, former chief executive for the FBI in New York, Miami, and Denver, and vice president of Guardsmark Security Services. Bill, good morning. Lots of new information in this case. What do you make of the significance of what, I mean, Dzhokhar's talking, that much we know, because he's been sharing a lot of new details, and some of which include the fact that they made those bombs in the house that his brother, his older brother Tamerlan, shared with his wife. Significance of that?
I think what they're going to have to do, Martha, is try to determine what the wife knew, of course, about what was going on in her home regarding the making of those bombs. I don't know how long, what the time frame was between her moving out of the home and the initiation of the making of the bomb. So it's very difficult to say she knew, but she had a conversation with him after the event, after the bombing of the marathon, and she had conversations with him beforehand. She lived with him. She saw his change in attitude. She's got some explaining to do, at least some very difficult questions to answer.
Yeah, and there's a picture of her on our screen right now. She was a home health aide out working. He was supposedly a stay-at-home dad, and now we know what he was working on while she was out at work, according to these reports. Now, what about the timeline issues? The reports are that they wanted to do this on the 4th of July in Boston, but that they accelerated right through the program and said, boy, we've got these things ready to go. How about Patriots Day? Then they drove around Boston looking for a good spot and chose that finish line. This shows a tremendous amount on both brothers, I would think, Bill, of premeditation.
There's no doubt about it, Martha. These, of course, you have one deceased that won't have to face trial, but the younger brother is going to get significant time in jail. He'll spend the rest of his life in jail. The only way that he's going to avoid the death penalty is to fully cooperate with authorities and tell them exactly what happened. I also believe that in the recovery of that computer that the FBI now has, that's a treasure trove of information. They'll be able to track everything that he's done, and maybe his brother used the same computer to do the things that needed to be done. So that's all in the future. We'll hear about that, I suspect, as time goes on.
Now, Bill, you've been in on a lot of these kinds of interrogations, and just going through what we learned. Initially, Dzhokhar seemed to be saying, you know, look, I just got in on this. I've only known about this a couple of weeks. My brother brought me into this whole plan. And perhaps, you know, he's starting to understand that his only chance at sort of modifying his sentence would be to save his life. And maybe that's what is making him come forward with all of these new details, which show that clearly he was on board for quite some time, right?
I think you're absolutely right, Mother. If this wasn't a 2-week involvement with him in this whole case, and then all of a sudden he knew how to make a bomb. He talked about he knew how to make a bomb quite some time before the whole incident, so to his friends. So he's got a lot of explaining to do. Bottom line is he's only doing this to save himself from the government putting a needle in his arm. That's the basic event right here, right now.
What an unbelievable tale he's telling now. Bill Gavin, thank you very much, Bill. We'll see you soon.